Hello everyone and welcome back to another Train Simulator classic video. Today we are back on Union Workshop's Tohoku high-speed and mainline route. We are in the only Japanese bullet train to ever grace this game. This is the E5 series Hayabusa bullet train. Or I'll just refer to it as Shinkansen throughout the video since that's what I'm used to. A bullet train doesn't roll off the tongue as well for me. This thing has just to give you an idea of the top speed, this thing has the same top speed as a French TGV, but it's not the quickest train in the country. I will explain that in a minute. Top speed 320 kilometers an hour. I'm not sure what that is in imperial units. I've also got, so changing destination display, Shin Hakodate Hokuto, which is the only station on the North Island of Hokkaido. I believe they are extending it up to Sapporo at some point. And they also include a Hokkaido version, Hokkaido Shinkansen version of this train for use in free roam with a purple stripe instead of the pink stripe. So yeah, like reserved carriages, all that. What a beautiful train this is. Also, my computer is performing a bit better than I was expecting, because for some reason the E5 model is quite high poly, so Train Simulator Classic doesn't really like it, if I'm being honest. So yeah, let's hop in and get started. Get the HUD on, so doors open first of all. So how's my FPS? 30 FPS? That's actually not bad for this train. Reverser. I believe the master key is in by default, so notch 1. There we go. Then I gotta get let's get the camera lined up. There we go. And let's also get the headlights on as well. So there we go. Headlights are on. Horn is pretty good. Also, a couple of things which are interesting about the Japanese bullet train network is most of the local and regional lines in the country are 3'6" gauge, Cape gauge, whatever you want to refer, 1067mm. But the bullet train lines are old-fashioned standard gauge, so. Yeah, it's like 1400 and something millimeters. And also the overhead electrification is the same that you get in the UK, which is 25 kilovolts AC. So technically you could run, if you really wanted to be unrealistic, you could take like the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 800, something out of the Class 800 enhancement pack, and just run it up and down here if you really want to be weird. But yeah. Normally I obviously don't do that. I prefer something that looks like this. Unfortunately, on this route, we do not get the E6 units, which can couple to the E5s. Okay, next station is Ichidosaki, and they've actually laid the track. This is currently non-drivable, but that's like the so-called mini Shinkansen, so the tracks are actually dual gauge, so the bullet trains actually run on the same tracks as the local surfaces, which is pretty cool. Yeah, this thing is absolutely ridiculously quick off the mark as well. It is very, very fast. Yeah, and look at that, we're already doing almost the line speed of 80 kilometers an hour. Yeah, so in real life, the E6s actually couple to the E8s, the E5s, which are the Hayabusas, as far as Morioka, where the train disconnects. What the E6s go to Akita, and the E5s go off toward Aomori and Hokkaido. So it is a bit disappointing that we don't get the E6 in this pack, because yeah. Yeah, look at that. Notch 10, it's literally like you fired a starting gun. It is so fast. This thing is... I cannot stress enough how quick these things can be. Like, and look at that, we're already doing 160. That's so ridiculously quick. And I must emphasize, having played a full-size bullet train sim with, like, proper authentic controls, the sounds on this are pretty good. It is a tad sensitive on keyboard, however, which is quite annoying. We also have a fully functional ATSP, I think? ATSP? Maybe. System which is used for yeah, there we go. Cruise control on for the brief section. Yeah. This route is actually one of the longest I've ever come across in Train Simulator. It is actually, what is it? 125 miles long, which is really long in and of itself, but if you do a no-stop service, because you can cruise at 320 kilometers an hour for literally the entire run, you literally get to, you literally do a full-length run of this route in about 45 minutes, which is quite frankly nuts. Let's turn the cruise control off. Get ready to punch it. There we go, punching it. Yeah. This thing is absolutely ridiculously quick. Oh, I also forgot. We get custom PIS scrolls. Thank you for supporting Union Workshop. Yeah. We are going ridiculous. Now this is where the speeds start to get absolutely ridiculously quick. This isn't really like, what is it? Train Sim World, because I think the two fastest stretches of track, there's the Sendai Depot diversion that you can, which I don't think you can go down there in scenarios, unfortunately. And I don't think it's modeled. What was I thinking? Oh, because I think the fastest stretches of track that you can get in TSW are, I think it's the high-speed one from St Pancras to Ashford on Southeastern High Speed, then also the LGV Mediterranee, which you can get to 320 kilometers an hour on in timetable mode, and then also first tunnel, then also trying to think, Kassel to Würzburg, where you can get to 280. This is not even the fastest train in Train Simulator Classic. The fastest train is actually the Chinese Fuxing Hao, which is developed by Just Trains, I think, which you can use on a couple of routes in cruise control. No, I need a tad more speed. Hang on, I'll move my camera so I can actually hit that button. 17, 18, 19, 20. There we go. Right, we are at our cruise velocity. How's my FPS doing? 30 FPS for Train Sim Classic? That's not too bad. Listen to how quietly this thing cruises. You would not know that you are literally going as fast as you can on... Oh, I forgot to... Oh, dang it! Hang on. If I change the power output... There we go. No, wait, the cruise control thing isn't active. Hang on. There we go. Oh, ATS is annoying. Hang on. Ah, I had it set. Dang it. Hang on. 19, 20. There we go. That's annoying. Anyway, Yeah, this thing is very, very, very quick. But it's not... Actually, no. As I was saying about the Fuxing Hao, that thing goes... Trying to think. Control off. Let's do 319 because, yeah. The Fuxing Hao, or CR 400AF if you want to use its technical designation, that thing can... Oh, come on, why did it turn the cruise control off? There we go. The Fuxing Hao can go 400 kilometers an hour, and it is literally the fastest commercial train on steel rails in the world. And the reason I'm using that distinction is there is technically something faster, but it's not really a conventional train. Holy crap, this thing is quick. Holy moly. There is a faster train that in commercial service, and that is the Shanghai Maglev, which you can get in Train Sim Classic, also thanks to Union Workshop, but I haven't got it myself because literally it is self-driving, and the only thing you can really do in the cab is push a button. And also it's like 500 kilometers an hour, which is bonkers fast in itself, but that actually has the route is... There's a couple of reasons why I've never gotten the Shanghai Maglev. Firstly, because you can't really drive it, you just press a button and it does everything for you. B, the scenery is a bit outdated since it's a 2015 route. It was literally the first route Union Workshop ever made for the game. And also, once you can start getting past 300 kilometers an hour, Train Sim Classic actually has trouble keeping up with the scenery generation in front of the train. So, like, the track, if you're at top speed in the Shanghai Maglev, like, the track will start to disappear and not load for a bit and that kind of thing. It's just like a technical limitation in the game as a whole. Ichinoseki in 45 kilometers. I should... Are we coming up on the station? I think we're coming up on the station. Are we coming up on the station? Hang on. Yeah, we are. It is Furukawa. I'll just do a complimentary horn blast for any train fans that happen to be around. Wow. Yeah. And not only you get a 120-mile stretch of bullet train line with which to play around with, but you also get a decent chunk of the Tohoku main line complete with the I can't remember what series of EMU it is that comes with this route. I have to check, but it basically you can go between Morioka and Kitakami with that unit, and it takes about an hour to get 45 minutes to get between the two stations, and the bullet train takes about 15. Yeah. My local bullet train, the E7/W7 series, it's called the E7 series when it's in JR East territory, and the W7 is in JR West territory. That has a top speed of 225 kilometers an hour or 140 miles an hour, which is for you Brits, that's the same as the Hitachi Class 395 Javelins, which you get on High Speed 1, or the Channel Tunnel Rail Link, that run alongside the Eurostars in the UK. There was actually a Eurostar made, but for Train Sim Classic, but it actually got taken off sale. I don't think something about the owners not having, something about the route makers not having the rights to sell it or something. I think the route went from like Ashford to Lille Lille in France or something. Hang on. Hang on. There we go. Let's get up ahead and do a complimentary fly past shot, because absolutely streaking past this little village here. Alright, here we go. Any trains coming from this direction? No. Alright, here we go. Wow. This thing is so fast. I'm honestly thinking of picking up the Fuxing Hao, because it actually has scenarios on not one but two different routes, and it's 400 kilometers an hour capable. So, and yeah, I'm honestly thinking of picking it up. How's my frame rate? 38 frames? That's not too bad. Yeah, just a pity that the console. It's just a pity that the console people can't access this because Train Sim Classic doesn't work on consoles, which is really sad, because like this is my second favorite route for TS Classic. There are a few routes where you could go this fast for this long and just watch the scenery pass by at absolutely ridiculous velocities. So once we get closer to Ichinoseki, the ATS system should start putting the speed down. You can honestly drive this route HUDless pretty easily, because you see stations from a long way away, and the ATS system yeah, does the job pretty nicely. Yeah, silently wafting. Like, with the TGV duplex on LGV Mediterranee at this speed, you could it's definitely a lot noisier, because you have all of the motor and transformer stuff right behind the driver's cab, because it's like loco hauled. But with this is you just, because the motors are right next to the bogies under the train cars, it is very, very quiet. What is that? Ah, that was the wrong button. What is that station we just went through? That was Kurikoma Kogen. Kurikoma Kogen. 19 kilometers to go. Yeah. This is actually a relatively recent high-speed line. It was finished sometime, I think, early 2000s. This line was complete, and it is said to be extended all the way up to Shin Hakodate Hokuto, which is where this train is terminating. And in real life, they're currently working on an extension to get it all the way up to Sapporo. So basically, you could go from Tokyo to the major northern regional city of Sapporo in about, I want to say 3 to 3.5 hours by bullet train, with just stopping at major stations. Wow, this thing is so smooth. And that just makes for pretty boring content, because I'm literally not doing anything. There's not even a occasional vigilance beep 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 to silence. So yeah, but whoops, just alt tabbed over to my OBS recording screen. So if you saw anything weird, there you go. Oh, we're actually losing speed on this 1% grade. But we're still hovering at around 316, which is nice. 11 kilometers to Ichinoseki, and then we have Ichinoseki and Morioka. So yeah, this is this all the way north scenario. If you're wondering which one it was, it's one of the included scenarios. I think this route is quick drive compatible, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is quick drive compatible. Oh, hello. Wrong button. I believe this thing has an 8-notch brake. No, 7. Alright. We've got an 80 limit now in force. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've got a 7-notch brake. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, release through 7 and then full service. Yeah, you could see why the ATS was putting us down to 80 now, because look how long it takes to slow down, even with full brakes. Man, I've never ridden on one of these E5 units. I really want to sometime. Maybe once the Tadami line for TSW comes out, I do like a multi-day trip and go out and ride the Tadami line in real life. And also ride on one of these things, because heck, that would be pretty cool, right? You would all love to see the Tadami line in real life through my camera lens, wouldn't you? Alright, just 30 kilometers an hour to go. Alright, I'll set the cruise control to 80. Alright, let's give it notch. Nope, wrong button. That's the button. Sorry, I keep getting my binds mixed up. Oh, dang it. Right. Oh, I don't think the cruise control works at these speeds. Hang on, I've got an idea. I think you have to have a certain notch in order to activate the cruise control. Hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa. This train is too powerful. Ah. Yeah, I don't know why the ATS slowed us down so early. There's the Tohoku main line, no AI on that. Because we don't have the stock in TS Classic, to be quite honest. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Cruise control is finally on. Have my finger hovering over the button. 1.4 kilometers to go. There we go, cruise control on. Yeah, that little green light there, that's for the cruise control system. I don't know why we're going this slowly. Yeah. You can tell this is an older bullet train line because they actually used gravel to lay this part of the track. And that's not used these days on newer bullet train lines. It's either on a bridge or in a tunnel, and not only that, you also have no gravel. It's all welded tracks laid on concrete. Yeah, I believe that's to make them more earthquake proof, but I could be wrong, so please leave a comment down below if let's turn the cruise control off since we're coming in. Ichinoseki. Give it notch 2. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the stations with the bypass line installed, so we could legit have a train just absolutely yeet itself through at full speed. Come on, slow down, buddy. There's the stop marker. Notch 7. Yeah, these things do take a bit to stop, but once you get the hang of them, they're pretty dang easy. Yeah, there we go. We should stop pretty close. There we go. Get those doors open. Wonder if we'll have a train pass by us. That would actually be sick. So yeah, I think the service we're doing is Yeah, Hayabusa. So like, yeah, they tend to do like the more express kind of services. Sadly, the lower platforms don't appear to be modeled. That's probably something due to performance and the fact that we can't see like any AI on them, which is a shame, really. But yeah. Next station, Morioka, which is the last stop in 90 kilometers. Brakes to release, notch 4. Sound the horn, which you would do. As far as I know, the only time these trains ever sound their horn is when they're coming into a depot. But the horn sound is honestly quite accurate. Leaving Morioka and we have 20 minutes to do 90 kilometers. So that's actually insane. Keep it notch 2. Let's punch it. Next stop. I already said the next stop. But we're clear back up to 320. All we had to do is get out of that diversionary siding there. I think I used too much brakes when coming into Ichinoseki. Still have to get the hang of how the ATS regulates your speed, so yeah. If we go to show task, so yeah, like all these lower platforms there, yeah, and then you also have the line down to here, which is Kitakami. And just like that, we're already doing 200 kilometers an hour. $50 FPS is not that bad. 80 kilometers an hour to go. Holy moly, this is fast. We're plunging right into this mountain range. Look at this bridge. Nice bridge. And into another tunnel. I know this route has a lot of tunnels, but then that is characteristic of high-speed lines in mountainous countries. Alright, gotta be ready to hit that cruise control button. What's this third button on the right? Oh, that doesn't do anything. So yeah, cruise control off, cruise control on. Emergency brake, that's your brake pressures, brake master key, brake... a couple of switches over here, which I can't remember what those are for. Oh, those are headlight switches. There we go. Alright. There we go. Cruise control is not set. What? Okay, I think it maybe has like a cooldown. I don't know. We're still going at pretty close to line speed. 17, 18, 19. There we go. Cruise control is on. I set it at 390 just so we don't have an overspeed. Yeah. Wow, this is a long tunnel. The longest bullet train tunnel I've ever come across in Japan is 22 kilometers long, and it's somewhere in Nagano Prefecture. Can't remember exactly where, but yeah, 22 kilometers, even in a train as ridiculously quick as this. Still takes a while. Okay. I still think my favorite high-speed train window wiper design is the Class 390 Pendolino in the UK. Whoever thought of that, genius. Basically, they've managed to fit two wipers into a compact space which you wouldn't really expect. Okay, we're starting to head down. Absolutely flying. Look how fast the distance to Morioka is ticking down. That's so fast. And into another tunnel. One reason the front of this train is as streamlined as it is because basically one of the problems, like the old code-nosed Zero series bullet trains, which were originally introduced back in the 60s, had a problem. If they were at line speed, they would push air in front of them in tunnels and then basically produce a miniature sonic boom when exiting tunnels. Those who have visited the National Railway Museum will have probably seen one, because there is a Zero Series front-end power car actually sitting in the National Railway Museum in York in the UK for some reason. I don't know how it managed to get there. Hang on. Let's see, is this a good shot? Nah. Let's just see, yeah. So basically what they did with the next few bullet trains is actually redesign the entire front end of the train in order to make it a lot more streamlined so it didn't build up pressure in front of the train. Which is pretty neat, a pretty neat solution. What is that station we just went through? Mizusawasashi, okay. I was having to read it sideways. So... hang on, let's see if I can get a good shot here. No, not yet. Hang on. Nope. Hang on, let's see if I can get a good shot now. There we go, that's the FOV. Ooh, nice. Oh yeah, because it's just around the corner. That looks even better. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. That looks awesome. Man, this thing is a good-looking train. Wow. No one really does bullet trains quite like Japan. Unless it's the Chinese, and then they're just mostly blatant copies. Like a lot of them are basically are E2 units off of Japan, or rebuilt German Ice 3s from Siemens, or things like that are just like blatant copies of the trains. But mind you, there are quite a few original designs, like the Fuxing Hao, the CR400AF high-speed one. Like, that definitely is a distinctive looker. Like, yeah. One thing that we don't have in TS Classic, or we might have it in TS Classic, but I've never managed to find it, is we don't have, as far as I know, we don't have anything from Italy or Spain in terms of high speed. Like, if we could have something like I can't remember the Italy, I can't remember what it's called. It's something like the Focaccio or something, I don't know. But if we could have something Renfe branded in Spain and set in Spain, we're already getting Lisbon to Setúbal in Portugal for Trains and World, but that's going to be more of a commuter route rather than high speed. If we could get something Renfe branded and high speed in Spain, that would honestly be insane. Because trains there are capable of going to 350, which is really, 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 really quick. Ooh, nice bridge coming up. This bridge is really neat. Look at this. This is a big river, man. I know we spent a lot of time trying to get that thumbnail, but I did want it to look good. 50 kilometers to go to Morioka, which we should absolutely just obliterate the distance down to. How far do we have to, Oh, we're coming up on Kitakami now, so we might see, trains. The 701 series, I remembered. Absolutely streaking. Wow. So yeah, now this. Where is it? Is it underneath? No. Oh, I don't know where it went. Oh, it went off to the west, I think. Nope, wrong button. Sorry, I remembered TS. I always use escape to try to get out of that menu, to get out of that more map, but hey. Wow, this thing is mind-bogglingly fast. Look at all this! Look at the scenery just getting absolutely. We're absolutely storming past most of the scenery. A lot of this building assets seem to be reused, but I think some of those house assets date back all the way back to Story of Forest Rail, which was a 2015 route. I've driven that quite a bit, and it's actually aged really decently considering it's 10 years. It's well over 10 years old at the time of recording. 2015 was 10 years ago. Like, that is insane. That 2015 was 10 years ago. Why is time passing so quickly? And zoom into another tunnel. I honestly think we could use, like, brake notch 3 or 4 instead of notch 7 to slow down from Morioka. Yeah, but, like, since we don't have a safety system to worry about, so yeah, the main line follows it all the way up here to Morioka, and then this is the Akita Mini Shinkansen, which, like, if we could get that would actually be cool, because it would make a change from running on dedicated high-speed line and running on dual-gauge rural lines instead. That would be very interesting. And also I want to see the E6 in this game. That'd be really cool if we could get the E6 in this game. But I can't imagine it would be for a while, because I think all of Union Workshop's resources are currently engaged in making the trying to remember what it's called, the Tadami line for Trains in World. What station was that? Hang on. Shin Hanamaki. No, wrong button. Oh, wow. So fast. Oh. That asset is not Japanese. I think that's borrowed off of a old US route. But yeah, which does take somewhat away from the immersion, but I can imagine the Union Workshop didn't want to spend time and money making assets that they didn't really need if they could just borrow them from other routes. 27.5 kilometers to go. I say that and we're already down to 27 exactly. Oh my goodness. This thing is so fast. I wonder if this thing has coupler support, because yeah, that whole nose cone area should open up, but I'll have to test that out in like a quick drive, see if the front coupler nose opens. Having a cruise control really does help, because trying to maintain 320 kilometers an hour met the old-fashioned way using the throttle lever and the brakes would be an absolute pain. Are we rejoining the... No, we're not. We're not rejoining the main line yet. Yeah. The EMU that comes with this for the route is the 701 series, but obviously nothing has JR branding because JR are very annoying about their branding. They literally do not give their branding out to any train simulator. The only train sim which has their branding officially attached is JR East Train Simulator. That's developed by them in a joint venture with a company called Ongakukan. But yeah, someone tried to add a branding patch for I think it was the Wakayama and Sakurai lines add-on that re-added JR branding, and JR was like, nope, and took them out via lawsuit. I kid you not, they took them out via a lawsuit for a free branding patch. Like, what, like, why? There's the main line, which is on 3 foot 6-inch gauge. Yeah. Yeah, so I think if anyone made a branding patch, they would probably have to distribute it privately and not publicly, because otherwise, and no one would be able to make videos on it because JR would just sue them, which is quite frankly insane. I've never heard of another train company doing that, literally suing over a free branding patch. Oh, hello. We slow down to 160, so I think I'll do notch 4. See if that works. We have 11 kilometers to go. I think notch 3 should be able to do it nicely. Station. Are there any AI trains running up and down there? No, it doesn't seem so. Shame, really. Probably for performance purposes. Yeah, I think notch 4 seems to do the trick relatively nicely. You'll probably start seeing lesser and lesser frames as we get closer to Morioka, because also these tracks and like the assets do lower the frames quite a bit. Actually, we could have stayed at notch 3, to be fair. Cruise control on. Yeah, I find it so annoying how the throttle lever gets in the way of the cruise control. It's annoying, but hey, can't really do anything about it. Actually, yeah, we could have used notch 3 because we had like a kilometer to spare, so yeah. Coming into Morioka, which is a relatively big city. Here's a small station. I can't remember the name of it. What is the station name? Iwate Ioka. Okay. Oh. I did not hear the... I think I'll do notch 2. That should be enough. We have 3 minutes to do 4 kilometers. That should be more than enough, honestly. But, yeah, because of the tight timetabling these routes have. Yeah, we've got 2.6 kilometers till we're supposed to be 80, so just gently do the brakes. Yeah. Diminishing frame rate.exe, 24 FPS. But hey, it's still more than playable, I'll take it. Actually, I think I could do just notch 1 and that should get me down in time. Okay, the estimated time of arrival is 30 seconds to spare. That's good. Let's get ready to hit that cruise control button. There we go, cruise control on. 1.5 kilometers to go. Slow approach. The ATS system is honestly pretty conservative. Could be... yeah. It's only taken 45 minutes so far to get to this point, which is nuts, really. Alright. Once we start getting within range, I'll cancel the cruise control. Yeah. So, yeah, Morioka is a pretty darn big city. At 0.5 kilometers, I'll turn off the cruise control. There we go. Cruise control off. Just add a couple of notches of brake. Yeah, I know. Here we go, Morioka. Oh, we're heading into one of the main platforms, not one of the side ones. Nice. Man, this station is... this is a good, nice station. Yeah, so this is how tracks are normally laid nowadays, like the concrete directly laid into concrete style. Man, these things do have very good brakes. Very good brakes indeed. Ooh, and we're arriving basically dead on time. With, let's see, how many seconds to spare? 3 seconds to spare. Open the doors. Wow. Arriving 3 seconds ahead of schedule. Now that is what I call good timetabling. So yeah, welcome to Morioka, ladies and gentlemen. I should probably release the brakes to notch 1. Yeah. So yeah, these are like the mainline platforms which the 701 series uses. None of them are in because that's just the way the scenario works. So yeah. We have a low res sign. Unfortunate. There's the exit. Fortunately, none of the station passenger information screens work. They're just flat textures, which is a shame. And that'd be nice if they could actually work. Just finished the scenario successfully. Wait a minute, let's sound the horn one last time before we... right. And yeah, there we go. That is the Tohoku high-speed section complete. Oh, and... oh my goodness, what? And Train Sim Classic just crashed. Anyway, so yeah, that'll be all for this video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, and thank you so much for watching.